Thank you for listening to the Dog Trainers Podcast, a podcast created by dog trainers for dog trainers, or anyone who's ever fallen in love with man's best friend.
We may have a solution here.
Okay,
and we want to know how interested you'd be in helping us out with it.
Let's hear it. Yeah.
So I don't necessarily think competition is a bad thing. Now, diminishing other training methodologies, that's not very helpful. That's not something that we really care to do. It's our jobs. Like the way that Brent and I, we have always done so well together as friends, I think just because we think so similar, not just with dog training, but just in general. But when it comes to dog training, I think we both kind of came to this conclusion. It's our jobs to be good at food work and leash work and e-collar work and this and that. So it's not really like positive reinforcement doesn't work, because it does. Now, if somebody, and we've had some amazing conversations with some legit ass trainers, by the way, who right, Denise Fenzi, Sarah Bruschi, who are pure positive trainers. And, you know, it's a choice. It's something that they like, have realistic understandings of the different methods of training, and they chose their way for their own personal reasons, which is totally fine as I look at it. So with that being said, I don't necessarily think, I don't think competition is bad. I think competition is good. I think we should be getting together and mixing it up. And so the idea that I wanted to coin to you is Brent and I, at some point in the next couple months here, we're going to take the podcast to the next level by starting to reach out to the guests that we've had on and do a sort of reality TV type thing. It's kind of, we have to hammer down the specifics, but essentially it's going to be, we want trainers. We're going to do it ourselves as well. Take on dogs, whatever the case, you know, behavioral or obedience or whatever's going on. And we document the whole thing beginning to end. And then we make it into like an episode, and then we put it out, or a season or something, and we put it out. And that's in a direct attempt to move into our next sort of phase, which is clubs. Like in Arizona is a big sport dog club, or a sport dog state. I notice there's all kinds of Schutzhund clubs all over the place between me and you, right? And you're only like right there in Gilbert, right?
I'm in Phoenix.
Oh, you're in Phoenix too. Oh, okay. So if there's so many sport dog clubs, why aren't there like pet obedience clubs? Why can't people get together, try out the different stuff, see what works, see what doesn't, kind of test their mettle
together?
Right, troubleshoot together. But like the jiu-jitsu thing, that's why these guys continue to grow, because they keep mixing it up.
Yeah,
right.
Studios.
Other styles, other coaches, other this, other that.
It's so funny you bring this up. When I talk with Joan, like me and Jones talk all the time, right? And we talk about going rescue to rescue.
Yeah.
Troubleshooting problems, because we train totally differently. I mean, there's a lot of similarities, but using two minds to troubleshoot a behaviorally challenged dog together. And it sounds like that's exactly what you're talking about, bro.
Well, and we talked to him about this sort of thing as well, and he was open to it, right? And so that is the idea, because again, I agree, there is a weird amount, like you wouldn't even expect this weird amount of like pride or politics or whatever in the dog world, like rescues and training and whatever. But at the same time, egos and all that stuff, they still leave space for laziness. That's true. But even when the laziness is gone, that still leaves space for, I would if I knew what to do. I think that's where the majority of people are. I really believe that. And while there are like the go-getters out there who just kind of start on their own, and I admire that like nobody's business. But if we made it a little bit more accessible, then more people would do it. 100%. Right? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make a drink, but I can still lead you to water. So
constantly, so I tell my clients that all the time.
Right. But I love the other half of it. Like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make a drink. But if I lead you to water, I didn't hurt your chances. So it's, you know, that's the kind of thing that I wanted to gauge your interest on. So you and I are both in Phoenix.
Bro, I would be down to troubleshoot with any trainer.
Well, check this out. I want to make sure you know the concept. So what we're actually doing is we are making sure, like we are documenting a rescue rehab for a month, 2 months, and we're creating a documentary series on it.
Dude.
Yeah. And what we want to do is we're doing it with us first for first episode to work the kinks out. But then what we want to do is we want to go to you. We want to, for a month and a half.
Yeah.
Jonas.
What you're doing. The key is we want to show how a trainer trains. We want to put the spotlight on them, so then that way they can show what is it about them that gets this job. Now there might be haters, there might be people talking
100%.
shit, but the bottom line is if your dog goes from here and in a month and a half is here and gets a home and gets adopted, Well, now what we're doing is we're showing how there's a bunch of different ways to get here.
100%,
Right.
dude. I love it.
And so the purpose of this is not only to inspire people, but it's also to help dog trainers see the spectrum of different
Right.
colors in dog training.
100%.
And most importantly, show the best practices.
Well, I think it's important for newer trainers to take note. If they see, I don't really see newer trainers, like younger trainers, going after each other like that. It's mostly like more established trainers that I'll notice that are more comfortable going after pure positive or balanced trainers or whatever the case. But I'm sure it happens though, nonetheless. So what I think would be good would be for everybody to just keep in mind, anybody listening to this, just keep this in mind. Brent and I have, and I'm sure we will one day, but we've really tried to figure out how to approach this topic. Trainers tend to gravitate toward the methods of training that fit best with the trainer's value system. Doesn't necessarily make the training any less valuable. If it works, it works. Some pure positive trainers are legit. A lot of them are legit. Some balanced trainers don't know shit.
100%.
Right. So it's not a matter of like, this is necessarily better than that. It's when people pick what meshes with them, because it meshes with them, it's easier for them to pick it up and run with it so they get better, faster, yada, yada. I've noticed from not only a dog training perspective, but from a business owner's perspective, from a personal like self-development perspective, it's easiest for me to speak with people who are most like me, because it's just like, it's easy. It's like you're my friend. The better I've gotten in everything, in business and life and whatever, I have a better time or an easier time communicating with people who are less and less similar to myself. But I've developed the skill set to bridge that gap. And I notice in training is a similar sort of thing. If I was just naturally more inclined to want to get into like leash work, e-collar work, something like that, when I got really good at it and then I had the wherewithal left over, I could still go learn everything else because it didn't feel like innate to me. But that doesn't mean I can't develop the skill, like a runner, like rehab, like something else, right? So I think then it's fascinating where people choose to start based on their value system. But when we talk about people, going after each other, all the weird politics in the dog world, it's important to note that even if you started here and I started there, just like people, just like real human politics, it's not a matter necessarily. I mean, it could be in certain situations, I guess, but it's not necessarily a matter of like, I'm right and you're wrong. It's like, oh, well, I see it this way and I see it that way. Value systems are a very real thing, but they could often lead to the exact same thing. Like everybody just wants what they perceive to be the best for everybody else, right? So for the dogs, then, if you're considering going after someone, just remember this person's doing what they honestly believe to be the absolute best to get this dog from A to B.
Totally, dude. It's the one thing that you may not know. I started off as a purely positive trainer. That's how I started, man. I thought that balance trainers were evil, right? Until I was in the rescue world.
Balance or compulsion-based training?
Both. I thought they were both just evil. I have a totally different mindset now, right? But I thought that, how dare you give a dog a correction? How dare you hold your dog accountable, right? How dare you
someone held you accountable?
Yeah.
Well, it's
The struggle was, dealing with these behavioral cases. I was seeing dogs being put down at an alarming rate, right? And I'm sorry, but results matter to me.
Yeah.
Results matter.
Yeah.
Like, the one thing you may not know, I watch every methodology. I watch it all. I may not talk about it, but even, not that I'm a fan or anything, even Zach George has some stuff that has helped me in my journey.
I'm cool. Right? I'm a fan of Zach George. I'll say it.
Like Zach George on here if he's done.
Like, I'm just saying, Victoria Stillo, I can't stand her. Right. Yeah. But I have watched every fucking thing that she's, I don't think that there's anything on YouTube that I haven't seen. Right. Chris Frage.
Because you're a learner.
Yes.
You like to learn.
Chris Frage. Have you seen the video of Chris Frage with the dog? It was a reservation dog that was just biting.
You don't know who he is.
No.
Chris Frage.
Chris Frage. Yeah.
Frage.
I'll send you a link to it.
Please do.
But he has this video with and trainers, ego, everyone, but this video is spectacular. This dog is launching, trying to bite. And this is how I learned from Chris, right? He's letting this dog bite him. Just bite.
On his raw arm, or is it a fake arm?
No, it's just his arm. He's just letting the dog bite. And yes, the dog's freaking out. Yes, he's bleeding, right? And yes, he's like, oh, fuck, that hurt. But he's not flinching. He's not flinching, right? And all this, like, I'm just saying it. Like, I think he's a compulsion trainer, right? But seeing that, right, seeing the change that happened to this dog a year later blew my flipping mind. And that's when I put my hand out there and I tried it. And you know what? Yes, like, I'm scarred up everywhere, right? I tried it, but I'm telling, like, and yes, you'll run into that motherfucker dog, right? But that's why when I see a dog that has a lack of confidence, I'll throw my hand right out. I'm not going to give him my hand like this open. I'll close that fist. I'll let them go to town. 99.9% of them, they don't bite down hard. They nip, and then they're like, "Oh shit, that didn't work." But this one was from a healer.
Ouch!
Tore me up,
healers.
and now I can't use my left hand. Just does not work right anymore. I have troubles with prong collars. But all I'm saying is I don't care what it is. You know, I will learn any way I can to make my toolbox more effective for my clients.
I know what I'm getting you for Christmas now.
What's that?
A rubber arm.
Put
that out there.
Right sleeve.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty crazy the amount of scars, right? I mean, I got them up here, belly, all down my legs. I mean, it's nuts. But I'll tell you, every one of those, even the one here, I got stitches there.
They teach you shit.
I've learned so much.
Right? Now, I will have to say, just if you guys can wear a bite glove,
yeah,
so
do that. Yeah.
My struggle, right, is when it comes to muzzle, from my experience, right, not other people's, not yours. I have found that it's different when you have the glove, right?
They can tell.
Right? It's different when they have a muzzle on. Here's the thing. If I could save a dog's life by taking a bite, 110% I'm taking that bite. 110%. And if it ends up being one of that 0.01% of dogs, it is what it is. At least I gave it a try, right? You said something similar earlier, right? You may have led the horse to water, but
you can't make it drink, but I at least led you to water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is, yes, gloves are wonderful. You know, Parker with Leah, the service dog out there, and I think he's in Utah or Idaho. He's like, get bite gloves. I got the bite gloves, but it just wasn't the same. I wasn't getting the results because the dogs knew the difference. And then
I gotta tell you, I'm so sorry, but just, you know, in working with a lot of sport dogs, yes, dogs do learn how to target very effectively, bitey dogs, whether they be because of sport work or because of reactivity. Dogs know how to target. They'll go for something like an arm or a leg. They don't just kind of like lash. Meaning, if you approach them with like a big gauntlet that's meant for like handling birds and shit like that, yeah, they know it's different. Same thing with the bite sleeves are huge for people who may not know, and they're hard. They look like soft pillows. They're not. So if you approach a dog with it, they're more likely to just back away. That's why I was saying a rubber arm, because it looks like an arm, and you slip it into your sleeve and you're holding onto it inside your long sleeve. So the dog doesn't know it's fake. You know, so I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah. I've talked with Jonas about this all the time, right? And that's so one thing that Jonas respects me about is I feel it, right? I just
the smell.
I just feel like, and this is in my experience, man, is I just feel personally inside that my style is more. One day, am I going to lose a hand? Probably. Like with the dogs that I'm dealing with, right? Like this hand already doesn't work, right? I just got insurance on my hands just in case.
Nice.
Right?
Good.
Right. But I'm just saying that I follow my gut. So you were talking about, boxing and karate, right?
Jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu, sorry. And how when you're a white belt, you're like trying to follow the rules, right? You're just right. And I feel the same way with dog training, man. It's at first I tried to follow the rules and I kept on having issues. And now, I have these rules, but I deviate constantly, right? And it's like the one thing that I feel that I have is that troubleshooting. I can turn a shit situation into an amazing situation. That's the one gift. And I don't like, I'm just, me, but I feel that my gut is generally right about situations, right? Now, if I'm going to be put into a room with a 140-pound Cane Corso like Bob again, you bet your ass I'm going to be playing it safe, right? I'm not. You put me in a room with a wolf hybrid and that dog's coming to hurt me, you bet your ass I am going to take precautions, right? But for most of these pet dogs, you know,
Yeah.
it's
And to your point, 99.9% of them don't really bite.
Exactly.
Bite down,
Right.
You know?
But
But
you-
usually the bad bites are the ones you weren't ready for.
it's the
anyway.
fear.
Right.
ones.
Yeah.
It's the fear.
Yeah.
It's never the dominant aggressive dog that does it.
No.
It's never that overexcited dog.
Yeah,
It is that fearful
Mhm.
dog who
Mhm.
you stick it out there and he goes ham on you. And I can see it now, right? And it's only because I put like literally a fearful dog that's bit hella people. I'll just close my fist, put it out there, and he just. I'll get you the video. It's,
Mhm. Yeah.
it's nuts. And he just.
Oh, you have video?
Yeah. He
Okay.
just.
I bet he can hold that camera still.
Just-
I'd like to
and
see that,
literally,
yeah.
He's just going to town, and I just leave it out there, and it hurt like shit,
Mhm,
right?
mhm,
It
yeah.
hurt like shit, and it's like that dog is doing much better now, but it's that is a fear case, right? I had a dog, a reservation dog from what's his name, Corey Hart, the baseball player.
Mhm.
His wife is a big advocate for rescue, and she took in this rescue dog. The dog was living in their backyard for 7 months, but they couldn't get within 20 feet of the dog.
Mhm.
Right. So what did I have to do? I had to get out there, and we'd get the leash on, and the dog would just chew it off.
Isn't that crazy
Right.
how
Just-
smart they are?
I mean, it was brutal. And then
Oh man.
the dog was figuring it out, and we had to get this dog to like pretty much exhaustion.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I had to wrap a blanket over its head, and it's biting me through the. I mean,
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
just going to
Yep.
town.
Yep.
And you know what? That dog Aspen is now living inside the house.
With them.
With them.
Oh, that's
It's
awesome.
she's going on car trips now. She's going on vacation with them. She still is indifferent. She doesn't want
feral.
other people to
Yeah.
be around her. She still doesn't want the family to just pet her, and that's fine. But she's living happily
Mhm.
with them in
Mhm.
the room. So you bet your ass for a dog like Aspen, she stood no chance. I'll take that bite 10,000 times to help a dog.
You know, I have a bunch of similar stories because I've taken a lot of feral dogs from the different rescues around here. But instead of like listing them out, I just want to kind of get back to, so you'd be open to the idea then if we were to all set up some sort of
100%,
group or something so that we can
100%.
kind of mentor some of these newer trainers. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Bro, if you're in Arizona, we should meet up, dude. We should
Yeah.
try to get some people, some up and comers. I got this new guy who wants to be a trainer who's willing to foster, right? So he's coming over to my house to meet some of my dogs to see how he interacts with them, because
Yeah, make sure they got it.
You got to have a little juice, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Got to have the juice. But I think, bro, I think that if we could get to, if you're out there, I'm out there, bro. Let's.
What
do
part of
it.
Phoenix are you in?
I'm on the west side, right by the 17.
Right by the 17. I don't think you're far from me. I'm right off of the 51. I'm like right near PV.
Yeah, dude. I'm out there every day. I don't get any clients over on the west side. I get them all on the east side, North Scottsdale. But
That's
I'm
the
saying
upper
is
side.
if you want to get together, bro.
I'm down. You're back in town Tuesday.
110%.
I'm here.
Here's the thing. There's something that you can teach me. There's something that I can teach you. And there's something that these up and coming trainers can teach us